have a couple of people asked me within my team, they said, Julie, I have about 20 people that I brought in directly under me. Out of those 20 people, there's only 3 people that actually really do something, really be and get involved in, and they'll probably have about 2, 3 people under them. What kind of the number am I making when this company Onpassive launched? I didn't have the answer for that. So you are the number person, and I like to maybe have you answer that question.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people, want to micromanage their business, right? And so they're looking at it from, a small point of view in the sense of, what am I going to make the first month? I have this many people, how much am I going to make? But in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, okay, people should be looking at this business, 3 to 5 years out, okay? So you may have 3 people on your team, you may have no one on your team, you may have 20 on your team, right? But how many will you have on your team 3 years from now, 4 years, 5 years from now, even 12 months from now, right? That's how I like to look at this business. And I believe that anyone joining now as a founder, within the first 12 months, they can easily see 1,000 on their team, right? So imagine if you only have 10, if you have 20. Okay, but by the end of the year, by the end of, where we're in 2021, so come December 2021, you could have 1,000 on your team. How many people, based upon other companies that they've been involved with, I've ever seen 1,000 on their team? I've ever created a network of 1,000, right? And so, when I look at that, to convert that back to numbers, convert it back to income, I believe that those who are founders, in their first year, regardless of what their situation is, regardless of how many on their team, those individuals can see a realistic income potential of $6,000 in their first year. Now, some people look at that and they hear the number, they think, wow, that's kind of small, right? But what we're talking about is any situation, okay? Meaning it could be someone who has 0 on their team right now, could be someone who just joined today, right? That individual can see something like that. And if you spend $97 to join a business, and then you spend anywhere from $100 to $250 for your product package purchase, right, at launch, if that's all that's out of your pocket, that's it, nothing else, right? And after 12 months, you've generated $6,000. Where else can you go, and what other business can you join where you didn't even do a thing? The company's doing all the work for you, right? The company is the one that's driving the traffic. The company is one that's presenting. The company is one that's following up, right? When you get customers, the company is the one that's in communication with these customers. You're not even servicing your customers, okay? You're not even servicing them. So the company is doing all of this for you. And if all you make is, say, $6,000, listen, I know some folks in India, and if that's all they got in their very first year, they're ecstatic, right? Ecstatic. I know some folks in PNG, if that's what they get in their first year, same thing, right? Same thing. And we can go on and on. Vietnam, Philippines, again, if you look at the average income that countries generate, just as a whole in any industry, right? There's only a handful of countries that make, upwards of $40,000 per year. Right, I'm going to guess here and probably say maybe 20 countries in the world. That's it, right? So that's not a lot, right? So that tells me if someone is able to generate that without lifting a finger, right? The company gives us the opportunity to have multiple accounts. So imagine someone who has 10 accounts, they made $6,000 for each one. That's $60,000 in their first 12 months, right? So there's ways and means that people can multiply that amount, right, without necessarily having to build and build and build. You don't have to be a big builder in this business. Even if you are a big builder, even if right now you have 50,000 on your team right now, okay? Don't you think that you need millions, right? Like if because that person who's a big builder, they're thinking big. They're thinking, you know what? Yeah, I want to be making, 7 figures, 8 figures annually in this company, right? 8 figures is $10 million a year. Right? So I'm sure, and because I do know some of them, okay, so I'm sure there's some thinking along those lines. Okay, but if the company is going to generate, hundreds of millions of customers over time, the 1,000 that you have, or the 10,000 that you have, or the 50,000 that you have,